Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today on this video, I wanted to go through my 3 favorite core tackle products that I really have fallen in love with for a variety of different situations. Core tackle, obviously owned by my buddy Matt Steffen and also Johnny Schultz. They do a really good job of bringing out some really simple concept pieces of terminal tackle that have pretty huge implications, like things that you look at and you're like, why didn't I think of that? But they've done a really great job with it. Lots of people have embraced core tackle products, and part of the reason why I'm doing this video today, just based on core tackle, is because they've got a big sale going on. And I'll just run through that sale. It goes from now all the way to December 2nd. So essentially, if you spend over $50, you get 20% off your order plus free shipping. If you spend over $100, you get 30% off plus free shipping. And if you spend over $150, you get 40% off your order plus free shipping. And the discount will automatically apply when you go to checkout. And this is just on coretackle.com. So we're going to put the link in the description below for all the different products I'm going to show you. All right, so the very first product that I've just absolutely fallen in love with core tackle is the Tush. The Tush is a swim bait hook that allows you to internally weight a swim bait. So traditionally, if you want to fish a swim bait that doesn't have an internal weight, or a hook that's already molded into the bait, you'd pretty much just have to use a jig head. So all the weight would be forward of that bait. Right on the nose, you'd have a jig head that, it would work. You'd have plenty of tail action, but you wouldn't necessarily get as much rolling action as you'd like to see out of a swim bait sometimes. And that's where the Tush comes in. So essentially what you've got here, and on top of that, I forgot to mention, when you have that big swim bait jig head on the nose of your bait, especially if you're using like a 3/4 ounce or an ounce, that's adding a lot of bulk, and it just looks unnatural. It doesn't look seamless like a real bait fish like this would by itself. So that's where the Tush comes in. So essentially what we're going to do here, I'm going to show you how to rig it real quick. So instead of coming in through just the front of the nose, the tip of the nose, I'm going to come in through the top of the nose right here. Okay, just because of the way that line tie comes out 45 degrees, I want to do that. And this is an ElaZtech swim bait, the Swimmers. And it works great with ElaZtech, by the way. But there you go. That right there is how you rig it. And as you can see, you don't have all that bulk on the nose of the bait. You've got a good exposed jig head here, and all the weight is dispersed evenly right here at the probably the first third of the bait. And that creates not only a more natural looking presentation, but it also creates a lot of roll, a lot of body roll. You get a ton more roll with the Tush overall, which, in a lot of situations, you want that extra bit of action out of your swim bait. So the Tush is definitely at the top of my list as far as the core tackle jig heads that I absolutely love to throw. And it's very pertinent right now. I mean, throwing a big swim bait out on the main lake to imitate gizzard shad is a really good idea right now on certain lakes, and throwing smaller swim baits too. You can use some of the smaller Tush hooks for some baits like the Z-Man minnows or something like that. All right, so the very next one is another new product that they came out with just recently. I think this is one of their newer products, and it's called the Scamper rig. And the Scamper rig is a very simple, just like the Tush. It's kind of like, why didn't I think of that type thing? But it's just essentially a straight shank hook with a weight molded onto it. And the whole reason that they created this was to be fished with soft plastic jerk baits. Traditionally, we always just fish flukes and soft plastic jerk baits on like EWG style hooks, and you know, they work great for when you're doing the kind of twitch pause type technique where you're kind of walking the dog subsurface. But the hooking percentage is kind of down. And also when you get to a lake where, or any situation where you want the bait to kind of track straight, if you do more of a sweeping or pulling motion with your rod tip, like on blueback herring lakes, those guys that fish around blueback herring eating fish, they want to have less side-to-side movement and more forward movement. They want that bait just kind of swimming along very fast in a straight line as opposed to like wide, you know, zigzags. And that's exactly what you get with this Scamper rig. So we're gonna just rig it like we normally would. And this Scamper rig that I've got here isn't necessarily the right size for this 5-inch bait that I've got, but that's it right there. And I've done some videos on the Scamper rig, you know, catching them both different ways, you know, with the pull technique, the sweeping technique, which essentially gives it such a great natural swimming action, but it's more of a you know, it's more of a straight, you know, pull as opposed to, again, that side-to-side action. And then I also tried just your average, you know, twitch pause technique, and you can catch them every which way with this. And also the Scamper rig, I'm really excited about it next year to try it with floating worms. I think it's going to work really, really well. Use some of the lighter, you know, sizes of the Scamper rig for you know, like a Magnum, you know, trick worm or something in methylate or bubble gum or something like that. I think that would work really good. So the Scamper rig is another really good one that I think everybody should give a try if you like fishing soft plastic jerkbaits and flukes. The final core tackle bait that I want to show you, I know that I said that the Tush is potentially the top of my list, but honestly, you know, for most of my fishing, I think that this one might be at the top of the list. This one is the Ozark rig. The Ozark rig is a pretty amazing little tool. So this essentially, the Ozark rig is essentially a way to rig your soft plastic baits or Elastec baits in a way that is like a Texas rig, but it has a different horizontal gliding action than you can get with any Texas rig. So there are a lot of baits that people like to throw with the Ozark rig. You can use creature baits, you can use worms, whatever you like to throw. However, I think that baits like this is a stick bait. This is the Z-Man Zinkers. Baits like the Zinkers really enhance that gliding action. That's what I want out of this technique, is that nice glide. And if you use something that has a lot of appendages and things like that, it tends to slow down the fall and may create more of a vertical fall than the horizontal fall that you're looking for. But in general, I mean, with the Ozark rig, because that weight is so evenly dispersed on the shank of the hook, you're really not gonna have a whole lot of vertical falling. But essentially the way that I rig this is, again, I'll kind of come in through the top of the worm, the top of the nose, and then I'll bring it in through here, and then you just texpose it like that. Right there, that is the Ozark rig. So the Ozark rig, you know, no matter what bait you're throwing, I really like it around fairly sparse cover. Because it has a horizontal fall to it, you don't want to throw it into really dense cover because it's not going to punch through that cover very well. But if you have something like a loose knit brush pile or something like that, where there's plenty of space for it to kind of glide through all the limbs and stuff, this is going to be a great option. Or throwing underneath docks where you don't have a lot of stuff underneath there, but you know, you want that nice gliding action. The Ozark rig is a absolute killer. I find a lot of success also around like laydowns and things like that, or in the spring when the fish are spawning around stumps and stuff like that. The Ozark rig is a must have. So anyways, guys, those are my 3 favorite core tackle products. Again, they got that big promotion going on right now, so the links will be in the description below. Other than that, I want to hear what your favorite core tackle product is in the comment section. I'm going to see you guys out on the water. Make sure you trust the process.